like they always say, humans are creatures of habit, right? We develop these algorithms that go into the system that now all of a sudden this thing starts to learn us. And it's not just learning you and me, it's learning everyone and our interactions with everyone. And then, oh, by the way, they take it a next step further, which is DNA mapping, right? That's where you've got 23andMe, Ancestry.com, who, by the way, are all DARPA created as well. So then you go, well, why would we need to know and understand people's DNAs? Well, remember, DARPA is Department of Defense. It's a military project. If you wanted to wipe out a population, all you'd have to do is implement a virus within that construct, knowing how people's circles interacted, and you could basically take out neighborhoods with very little effort.
I know I ask you a lot to talk about this, but this is something you've been on for a long time, and this would be a good point in time to recognize what you've been talking about forever related to the weapons of intelligence gathering that have been deployed now for probably the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, since the Patriot Act was signed, that's really when it went beyond. And then they found loopholes, right, with like Five Eyes, where they've got the ability to have other countries spy on civilians because it's not their country, right? So that's a little loophole that they have. So, for example, the U.S. can go over and watch, a Brit or a New Zealander or whatever they want and report that information to the government, and the government isn't watching its own people. And so all those little loopholes, but it's the technologies that have come about in the last, say 20 years that are going to basically just push us right into this beast system. And that is the fact that like Regina Dugan here, DARPA was key behind all of this technology. And oh, by the way, who formed DARPA? That would be the Nazis that came over from Operation Paperclip, and they were doing some pretty wild stuff back then. But yeah, all this technology with the internet, and all of the ability to, basically mass surveillance everyone, it's tied into everything from the phone networks to the aerial surveillance via balloons to your phone that basically maps you to those systems. It's incredible. But yeah, I mean, you pick up your phone and look at all the apps, and there's people that have hundreds of apps on their phones, and every one of those apps all interact with each other. They talk, for the most part. There's some that don't, but you can take something like Snapchat or any of these that have been developed by these other companies out there that have other intentions, and they basically write programs within their systems that will circumnavigate all of the other programs, right? So you may think, well, I don't have Facebook, right? But you have Google, or you have Snapchat, or you have LinkedIn, or whatever it may be, and those have little codes written within the back end of these that allow them to basically still get in and access all of your other files and things on your phone. And then when you get in your car talks to your phone now, and you say, hey, I'm going to go to the store, and I drive this route to work every single day, and you start to develop, like they always say, humans are creatures of habit, right? And so we develop these algorithms that go into the system that now all of a sudden this thing starts to learn us. And it's not just learning you and me, it's learning everyone and our interactions with everyone. And then, oh, by the way, they take it a next step further, which is DNA mapping, right? That's where you've got 23andMe, Ancestry.com, who, by the way, are all DARPA created as well. So then you go, well, why would we need to know and understand people's DNAs? Well, if you wanted, remember, DARPA is Department of Defense. It's a military project. If you wanted to wipe out a population, all you'd have to do is implement a virus within that construct, knowing how people's circles interacted, and you could basically take out neighborhoods, with very little effort. And so if you can start to unwind their DNA and unwind their social interactions and unwind their all of their habits, everything from their buying habits to where they go every day or what programs they watch, you can start to basically control that populace.
We have sacrificed our freedoms on the altar of convenience. And that's exactly what's happened. They use the convenience that comes with cell phones, with smartphones, with all the other technology that we deploy to learn so much about us. I mean, right down to the fact that it is almost impossible now to buy things with cash. You have to utilize the tools that are available to you now. This is the beginning of serious totalitarian rule. And keep in mind, nobody ever wakes up in the morning and says, I want to be ruled by a totalitarian leader. They wake up in the morning saying, I want a better life. I want this. I want that. They've been deceived into thinking that this revolution that they're having is going to bring them a better life. And what they end up doing is they end up destroying their lives. And that's exactly where we're at right now. That's the direction that we're going.